start this presentation. Dr. Baker.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Hey, Sarah from Good Sam, how are you? Good, good, good. Goal setting is something that everybody usually hates to do. And how many of you have made New Year's resolutions? Anybody made New Year's resolutions? Okay. How many by February don't remember what your New Year's resolutions were? Hold on one second here. Because normally that's something we're supposed to do. It's something that is in the culture that it's supposed to happen at the beginning of the year. Okay, Jamie, okay, we'll be done by then, easy. So let's start the PowerPoint, and I hope you'll, for those of you who may have seen this before, I did give this at the Mississippi, what's it, Public Radio, I think it was a couple of years ago. And can you all see the slide presentation?
Can everybody see a blue cloud that says ideas, dreams, wishes, goals?
Yes. Okay. All right. How I want to look at, and what I'd like you to do is to practice with this, with things that belong to you personally. You know, it'd be wonderful to do this for DOVIA, but I really think if you practice with it on your own for yourself, then it's going to be easier later on if we try to practice with it, doing it specifically for DOVIA. So my ideas are, we're going to work on goals today, but they're going to start out as ideas. They're going to start out as ideas because if they're just something in your head and their ideas or their dreams or their wishes, it's easier for you to make a goal that's going to end up being useful for you and you might follow through with. So this is going to be on the website. Yeah, this PowerPoint's going to be on the website afterwards, so you don't have to take notes unless you really want to. And feel free to use it with anybody if you'd like to. I'd be happy to have it shared with other folks. So we'll work on goals today. What do you think about making goals? How do you feel about, not only think about it, but how do you feel about making goals? Just take a moment to think about this. And I think about it like this. I think they're stressful, it's work, it's not fun. How do you know what to say? I'm just pretending. They don't happen anyway, so why should I bother with them? I have to do this to be successful or to move forward. Why do I have to do this? Oftentimes you're assigned it by somebody at work, and it really is. I ended up saying, no, I don't want to do this. This is not fun. So when I started thinking about it, there must be another, I always try to think of things in different ways. There must be another way to do this that will help people be successful, that it'll have it be kind of fun so that you actually get something out of it. And it's not just something you're assigned to do or something that you have to do. Is it down? Either one. Okay. So let's make some wishes and desires instead. Let's think about it not as a goal, but what do we want? What do we desire? What do we would happen? What would surprise you if it happened? What would surprise you? What surprise would you like to happen? What would you like to happen? What would I like to happen for me next year or this year? Because usually I've done this in the fall. And what would make me happy? What would make me happy or happier than I am at this particular moment? So now the next part of it, I would like you to stick with me. I'm going to give you about 15 minutes. Okay, Michelle says not quite that long. What would make life easier, more fun, more exciting, less stressful? And how would I find fun for myself next year? So here's where the process starts. Michelle says not to give you 15 minutes, so maybe I'll give you 7 minutes instead. I'd like you to make a laundry list, have a sheet of paper available, just make a laundry list, brainstorm ideas, anything that you can think of. I don't want you to think about it. I want you just to write down 25 things on a piece of paper. Just write them down as quickly as you can, and I'll give you time to do that. Ignore the things that would say, I don't have enough time, I don't have enough money, I don't have enough support, anything that has not in front of it. Don't put that on your list, but what would you like? What would be fun? What would make life easier? I'm going to start now, and you have about 7 minutes, and after 7 minutes, we'll see how many you have. This is the hardest part of the whole morning, okay? 25. Okay, let's start. Am I unmuted? Yes, okay. I'm unmuted, Michelle tells me. My technical person says I'm unmuted. Okay, now, we've got some things. Normally, if you're in a group that you have more time, give somebody about 15 minutes, but you want to rush this. You don't want people to take time and think about these things. It's just a stream of consciousness. As quickly as you can get things on paper, you make a list. Okay, yes. How do I? It's not doing it. Technical. I need the next slide. Next slide. Okay, no overthinking. We just talked about that. Okay, now I want you to look at your list. Look at the list of the things that you just did. And what stands out? What's brighter or most interesting to you of the list that you made? Just one thing on there. You're not prioritizing anything. Now you're looking at it to see which thing kind of is interesting to you. You can pick 3 or 4, but I want you to start out with, well, pick 3, but start out with one, the first one that's really, really interesting to you, and then pick out 2 more. So totally out of that list that you've made, you will pick 3 things. Okay. Okay. Now, of those 3, choose one of them. Of the 3 that you've chosen, pick one of them, any one of them, and pretend it's already happened. Pretend what you wanted to happen has already happened. Write it down. Write down how you feel about that it's already happened. Are you excited? Are you amazed? Are you what? I mean, it's unbelievable that it's already happened. Just pretend it's already happened. And then describe how it's changed your life because it's already happened. What was it easy? Is your life easier? Is it better? Is it more fun? Okay, now choose another one of the 3. Pretend it's already happened. Write down how it feels to be doing whatever it is that you wanted to do there. What's it feel like? Are you relaxed? Are you relieved? And describe how it affects your life. What's better about it? What makes it easier? What's more fun about your life because that happened? Now take the 3rd one. Pretend it's already happened. Write down how it feels to be doing what you wanted to do. Doing the thing that you were setting as an idea. What it feels like. It was a dream and now it's real. It was a wish and now it's real. Describe how it affects your life. How is your life better after that third thing has actually happened? Is your life easier? Is it more fun? In what way is it better? Okay, you've got about, I don't know, 30 seconds or something to finish those three things up. Okay. I'll give you more minutes to, no, I guess looks like maybe you're finished with it. Now take this piece of paper and fold it as if you're going to put it in an envelope. Fold it into thirds. And on the outside of that, on the back side of it, fold it into thirds like you're going to put it. Okay, Stacy, we'll hope you'll get back. Fold it into thirds like you're going to put it in an envelope. You can put it in an envelope if you like, or on the back of it on the blank sheet. Just write, open me in September or October 2023. And then put it away. Just put it away. And in September or October, maybe at the DOVIA meeting, I'll remind you to open your letter and see what happened during the year of those things, because these kind of intents, you're making an intent for your future. You're putting ideas and wishes and into goals, really, because they happen when you put intent toward making them happen. You can see on the slide, okay, so this is just the takeaways. You write your name and address on an envelope or on the back. Place your wishes on separate cards in some cases. I'm thinking if you want to do this with somebody else, or like we do, put it on the same sheet of paper, fold it over, put open in September or October, put it in a safe place. And then as you open it in September, October, look and see what you wished for earlier this year. Did it happen? Or is it something that you still have on your wish list? And then if you're in person, you collect these. I would collect them from you and put them in an envelope. And I would hold them for you until September. And then I put a stamp on it and you'd address it to self-address it to you. I would send it to you in September, August, September, October. So there are several ways to do this. Does anybody have any questions about how this is?
I have a quick comment.
Okay.
So this goal setting process is the same process where you, okay, so most of you on this call know Doris Bridgman, and she works at Tougaloo College. And instead of working with students, they call what she does the pre-alumni council. So you see, they're putting out there into the future that these people that she's working with now, who are still students,
Who are freshmen,
are someday going to be alumni. So they're throwing into the future what they want to happen. They don't want them to just be students. They're pre-alumni. So this is the same sort of idea and the same sort of process. You're throwing something into the future as if it had already occurred, which is the most creative way and and I mean as in to create, a very powerful way to create the things that you want for your future, because you have an expectation, you have a thought that they have already happened. You're already enjoying them just the way they happened. And it's the pre-alumni council.
Right. And unconsciously, you're giving yourself the focus and the energy to do these things because you've now got them in your mind. You've written them down. You've made a commitment to yourself about what you want to do. And then you just forget about it, because oftentimes you forget about them anyway when you make a New Year's resolution, but you forget about them and you put them under the rug. where this way you're actually codifying them in some way. And later on in the year, you can look and see how did you do? Did you get your wishes? Any other comments from other folks? What was let me ask you a question. What was the hardest part of this?
For me, it was getting started, because sometimes we have so many things. So to just get started and just writing them down, that was my issue.
Right. Well, that is the hardest part. That's what I said earlier. You usually tell people to write down 25 things because that seems impossible. And what you discover is, as you're writing down those 25 things, some of the things that you write at the top of the list, you're going to continue at the bottom of the list and just sort of expand on them. You may change a little bit in the wording, but the hardest part about this, after getting started, is making that list of 25 things. And you do it exhaustively. You make I made a shorter list because this is a shorter period of time, but the longer the list that you tell somebody to make, the better the outcome, because they've really gone into their creativity, because you go outside of the box, because otherwise you write down the ordinary things. I want to paint my house.
I want to lose weight. I want to work out. I want to
you write the things that you normally
read a book a week.
You want to think about. But
the good stuff is down at the bottom of the list.
Exactly. So if you say 25 or 15, like Michelle says, by the time you get to 15, your little ego is saying, I don't want to do this anymore. So to get another thing on this list, I'm going to give you something really goofy.
Those are the good things.
Those are the good things. As you get toward the bottom of the list that you force yourself to make, you really get into the good stuff. You really do. So Stacy, you're absolutely right that that's the hardest part. Yeah.
Sarah, is it Sarah or Sarah Gayden?
It's Sarah Gayden.
Sarah Gayden, welcome to the group. We are so happy to have you.
I'm so excited to be here. A few weeks ago, because I journal sometimes in the morning and sometimes at night, I made this exhaustive wish list of the next 40 years, the things that I want to look back and say that I did. And I was a part of, and I even like making this list, real quickly, some of the things I named, I started to get emotional because, in my life, I have put others and other people's concerns before my own on default. And, and there's things that I want to do. I want to make a quilt, I want to make a quilt. And so I have signed up for a quilt, to go to a quilting guild, and making time for that in the world that we live in with all the things that we have to do, and not being afraid to make mistakes and be a beginner. But I started to get emotional as I made the list, and time is something we have a limited amount of, it's finite, and how we spend our time really does matter. And as a woman, it is hard to because there's all these other things we're supposed to take care of. And so I got emotional when you started saying, like, write it down and put it in an envelope and then look at it in a year. And I have personal goals and also work goals, and I'm goal oriented. I like a challenge. I like a goal. And I feel really good when I have actualized on one. But I'm an idealist and a dreamer. And I look back on the girl that I was, I would bite off more than I could chew, and my dreams were a little too big. And, and I have learned through error, and I have learned through failure to take small steps towards goals, and not to, not to be a perfectionist about it, just to be so happy that I'm doing what I want to do. But I mean, that's just something that I've learned along the way. But anyway, I wanted to share. I got emotional as I wrote them down. So I think they matter.
That's great.
That's great. That's exactly where it comes from, because especially those at the bottom are going to hit those emotional things that you explained it perfectly. We take care of everybody else, and we don't think about what will make me happier. What will make me smile tomorrow? What ideas in the future what would I like to run toward? If I were a little kid running toward a lollipop or candy or ice cream or whatever it was, what would give me that feeling in as an adult? What kind of thing would make me happy? So instead of goals, which really sound very, very solemn and because we're told to do that, make the name something different so that we can run toward them and be emotional about it. Great. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Stacy, it looked like for a second you had something that you wanted to say. Were you going to say something?
No, well, yes, when she's just like me, like when you just think about certain things and when you want to make an impact before you go, that's what she touched me when she said that. So I really, I get that as far as legacy goes.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
You know, it's very interesting. Mom and I were having, sorry, Sarah Gaden, this is my mother.
Hey.
So we were having this discussion the other day because she's making her will. And she was saying, you know, as I'm working with this attorney, as I'm working with this accountant, I want to make sure that I've done this and this and this. She was making that list, and she was saying, you know, I want to make sure that I can do these things, and you know, we have to write them down. There has to be a process. But it was interesting because then she said to me, okay, so, you know, when I'm not here anymore, you know, half of this stuff goes to you, half of this stuff goes to your brother. What are you going to do with it? Because I have no children. So now I'm in the same kind of position where she is. You know, what do I want to do with my legacy? As you said, you know, who will be the person that I do my dreams and my wishes for?
Other than yourself.
Other than myself.
Other than yourself. Yeah. Yeah. How do you pass this forward?
Right.
And I think, and now that Michelle's talking about my will, I didn't want to do this. I you know, had put it off for a long time because it was scary to think about it. And now I'm glad I'm started because it really is giving me a structure to put these ideas into. So it's not really a goal for me, but you know, it's another way to think about it. But to leave a legacy is really important for all of us, no matter how old we are. So, Miss Mary, how did you react to this?
Well, one thing that I put on as a goal may not sound like fun, but the results of it to me will be a lot of fun. I put that I would unclutter my house. That
Yes.
I would be full of stuff. That I would go through that attic. I would go through doors. I would go through stuff and throw things or give things away so that my children don't have to go through all my stuff, because I've had to go through my mother's stuff, my mother-in-law's stuff, and there's just so much to throw away that they would want me to throw away, but they've been saving my mother-in-law for 70 or 80 years. She lived to be 105. She had a lot of stuff stored. I would like, you know, if it's belonged to my grandmother or my great-grandmother, I could put a note on there. You know, don't get rid of this. This belonged to so-and-so. That I can go through, and magazines that I've saved that have no meaning into me, I can throw that away. Boxes that have stuff in them that are just, anyway, you understand. One of my goals that I wrote down was to unclutter my stuff and not to buy new stuff. Not to buy stuff that's just going to clutter up the house. I don't need more stuff. I need to get rid of stuff. And at my age, the older you get, the more you see stuff is just, you know, something else to dust or to move or to pack up or to put away and give to someone else later, maybe. You know, it's just, that's one of my goals.
Wonderful.
Miss Mary, you're absolutely right. And that process of getting rid of stuff is so cathartic. You know, it feels so good to throw away just stuff you don't need anymore. It feels good.
Any of those little pink dishes they give you in the hospital to spit in? Yeah, do you really?
I have some of those.
I have bathroom sinks. We have several of those. Not anymore. I've started the process, but you just think, well, this may come in handy.
Right. I may use this sometime.
When I was listening to y'all about legacy, I wrote down, every time a woman holds ground and walks toward the life she desires, she makes the path and she makes it easier for her daughter to do the same. And I believe that in a deep and soulful way, that every time we show up for ourselves and we walk towards the things that we really want, we really do make it easier for our daughter. I think that has a lot of spiritual currency, and that we are so tied to our children. And when we take less, then we raise the chance that they will too, because they will do as we do, not as we
Right.
say.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. That comes to volunteerism too. You know, your kids watch what you do, and if you do that, they don't even think not to do it, because it's part, like, you know, you peanut butter and jelly together. It becomes normalized. But yes, thank you so much. That idea that we're making a path also through the woods that will allow someone else to walk behind us, so they don't have to clear the rubble. They can figure out some interesting things to do on that path and not have to, you know, tear up the path in front of them. So that's the end of the presentation. The PowerPoint is going to be on the DOVIA website. Please feel free to use it. I know this was kind of, it's very simple to use, but it is very powerful. It brings up emotional kinds of things, like you mentioned, and it brings up ideas that we might not have thought of. And if you do it in person or have a little bit longer time, do encourage the list come 25, because or more. But 25 is kind of, you know, if you do too many, people are going to get worn out about it and won't even start. Like Stacy said, you know, it's hard to start. But you have to make it long enough so that people start getting down to that nitty-gritty stuff that's going to be important to them, that their ego gets out of the way and they can get it that way. So thank you all so much and have a great day. And I'm muted.
Well, before we all go, I would like to say great presentation. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And Good Sam and MTK, what's coming up in the future? Let us all know what's going on. We'll start with you, Good Sam.
Okay, first I want to introduce Andrea Nitschke from Good Sam. She's here. She's our she's over the closet. And so right now, you know, as far as work goals, you know, I want 1,000 people to run in each of our charity runs. I want 1,200 volunteers strong across our 5 ministries, and a way to keep up and organize people, and to find, to be able to find people who, you know, want to come once a month, you know, or, you know, sometimes more frequently, but most of the time I think once or twice a month is really a lot to ask of someone. So we have our Kick Up the Dust in April at Choctaw Trails. And that's on the 7th or the 8th. I think it's Saturday the 8th. It's the Saturday before Easter. And we also have Fondren Church. Mark Dunn is leading, as a deacon of Fondren Church, is leading a team here to help us with nuts. We have some projects at the store that need to happen. And I am, you know, have been reaching out into the community about our container garden. I want people to know that our container garden matters, and, you know, want it to be an example, a garden that can, you know, students can come and learn in. And of course, the food that we grow will supplement our pantry. And then I'm also, you know, looking out for art projects to bring volunteers in, you know, like painting an outdoor rug, you know, in our garden, and other fun things, along with the acts of service that we have in our pantry and in our closet. And I came on board as the new director of volunteers in October. And so I'm really just getting started, and I'm so excited to be here. And so that's what's going on right now in a nutshell.
It sounds like a lot of good things are going on. I heard you say something about a run. When is your run?
Okay, and so the link is live, and so I can email y'all. I can maybe email Michelle. Oh wait, am I? Okay, no, wait. Okay, y'all can hear me. Okay. It's at Choctaw Trails in Clinton. We have 3 charity runs. We have our Christmas theme run, and in November, the Saturday before Thanksgiving, where it's a Christmas village and everybody wears holiday, and there's a run with Santa. But this one is a trail run, and it's really gorgeous. I looked up Choctaw Trails and was watching the video, because I have not been out there. It's private property, but it's like a run through the forest, except it's manicured, and it's absolutely gorgeous. And it's the race starts at 8. The link, we just have the link is live, and I've got to start sending that out. And it's a 14K, an 8K, and a 4K. So 2 mile, whatever that is in miles. It's like 2 miles, 4 miles, and 8 miles. And it's a little bit smaller than our other charity runs. We have another one in July the 1st. It's in concert with the Canton Office of Tourism, the balloon chase. It's a bike, run, and walk. And but anyway, I'm actually looking for 24 volunteers for the day of the race on April the 8th at Choctaw Trails. And I've reached out to Mississippi College, to some fraternities in Jackson, and also a private business. And so I'm starting to call and starting to, try to place people in certain positions. And I'm really excited about the race. And yeah, so I can email y'all the information. Is there a way? Who should I email so that I can
email
get
it,
out? Michelle.
email it to Michelle,
Okay.
and she'll get it out to us. But I'm very interested because we do a race in November yearly. We've done it for the last 2 years at Camp Kamasa, but we're thinking about possibly doing a trail. And you seem to be so excited about the trail run, so that makes me excited. And I have our new director, the course director. She is a trail runner, so I mean, it sounds very fun. So I would like to just get with you personally, maybe have a meeting with you to discuss some of this stuff, if it's okay.
That would be wonderful. And one of the things that I like to tell people is there was a body of research where if you spend 3 days surrounded by nature, the systems in your body that fight cancer are elevated 100%. And that holds true for 30 days. And, also in the medieval period, if somebody was mentally ill or suffering from something traumatic, that one of the cures was to put them in the garden. And also there was another study that, that trees affect your parasympathetic and your sympathetic nervous system, where if you are angry and want to hurt somebody, but you're in front of a tree, the likelihood that you're going to calm down and be okay, it increases. And so, the fact that we have wandered and we have turned, our culture has turned from nature. And we all know that when you exercise and you break a sweat, not only do you protect your heart, but you protect, you reach a point where the stress in your life falls away and you reach a euphoric moment and you just feel good. You just feel good about everything. And so when you can combine running in nature, I mean, it falls under public health. And I would also say under public safety, because when we are outside and we are in nature and we are doing things like that, we are, it builds community, it builds resilience, and people just feel better. And I'm excited about the trail run, not to go off on a tangent, but anyway, I'm excited, Stacy. I'm gonna write your name down. We will connect.
I love it. Yes. I love it. I love it when someone is excited about what they do. And so, yeah, you have definitely given me some things to think about, and especially the research that you said that you did, and you found out all of this information about just being outside in nature. I love it. Thank you. Okay, Miss Mary, you want to talk to us about Mississippi Stuff as Kids? What's going on?
Sure, absolutely. As everybody knows, except for possibly Sarah, is we're building a camp facility for children with special needs and children with serious illnesses. We're a little more than halfway finished, and the work will be continuing. It's constant. We've got construction work going on all the time out there, but it'll increase. And our military won't be here till May, but when they come in, of course, it'll increase a lot. But this Saturday, we have 2 parties going on. I believe it's this Saturday. Anyway, we have a party in the morning for our children with special needs, and a party at early afternoon, well, at 4, for a prom for our adults and our teenagers with special needs. And so a group of club of young ladies are planning this and doing it for us. And we've got 100+ people that we've invited to come, our children and our adults to come and have a good time with our party. Also, then the next week we've got we're starting back our group called Friends of Camp Kamasa, and this is adults, women that like to volunteer with us. We stopped during COVID and have been slow getting back started, but we've got a nice sized group that's coming to someone's home, And we're gonna meet and talk about the things going on this year and find out where people would like to step in and serve and help and all. And the next fundraiser is until June, and it's a car show. And we had a meeting this week with a group of 7 men that will be planning it and helping carry it out. And so, that's kind of what we're doing. We're busy up here looking for grants all the time and trying to have different ways that we can raise money. And it's just been, it's been fun. It's been exciting, and we're getting a lot done, and we feel good about it. Stacey?
All right. Well, I can say for MTK, we have a group coming in on the 21st, which is Southwest Electric, to volunteer. They always do us very, very well. So we love them. And we also have Volunteer Mississippi coming to volunteer as a group on April the 28th. So not April, I'm sorry. Something's going on April the 28th. That may be the Give Awards, but April the February. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Miss Mary. Reel me back in, because I have a list of like dates written down and I was looking down. So I'm sorry, y'all. But anyway, great things are going on at MTK, and I'm excited. And Good Sam, I definitely will be contacting you guys. I mean, it's almost like we need to have another meeting just on what everybody is doing, because there is so much stuff going on. And we always know that DOVIA is an entity that just helps with everything. And I'm just so proud to be a part of this organization. Okay, so if there isn't anything else, we're going to say goodbye and enjoy the rest of your day.
Bye. All right. How do you?